So in NLP, or for those that aren't familiar with NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, we have a process called a values elicitation. That is a process of getting clear on all of your unconscious, conditioned criteria that are important to you. So everyone, has everyone here heard of the word values, your core values or your values? Anyone not heard of that? Yeah. Anyway, so your values are, it's an unconscious filter that we all have. And most people are they're unaware of their values, just simply because it's not really a thing that comes up on the dinner table. It's a deep unconscious program. So when you become aware of your values, you can now question, oh, what's actually really important to me? So that's the question to elicit your values, is in the context of life, what's important to me? And we've gone through this in Project Limitless, and there's a few of us in the room that have gone through this process. When you go through eliciting your values, which is what we do in the program, you create advanced awareness of your filters about what is important. And for example, we've gone through just recently, and there's a couple of students that have realized that their values hierarchy, which is just a list of your priorities, is a bit out of whack. So for example, when you do this process, you actually ask yourself, in the context of life, what's important to me? And you'll end up with a list of all these different things. Could be money, could be family, could be health, all these different things, all the way down. And then this will be a sequenced, ordered list where you know, money's most important, family's second, health is third. All the way down to maybe, let's just say, for example, fun. Fun might be 10th on their list. But then they look at their life and they wonder why they're not having any fun. It's because fun's not a priority. But they're doing really well, they've got lots of money. That's because money is high up there on their values. And so when someone becomes aware of this hierarchy, this unconscious conditioning, that's the way you now take yourself out of your conditioning, your unconscious programming, and you can now rejig it, you can now question it, you can contemplate, where's this come from? Why am I valuing this and not that? So this is a great self-awareness process. And then once you go through this process, you can then redesign your values. You can then start to change them. But that's the first starting point. Yeah. So that's what we go into a lot of depth in Project Limitless, where we start creating awareness of all these filters. Once you become aware of it, only then can you change it. Yeah. What was your question?
I was just going to say, in regards to importance, sometimes we know that things are important, but then we've got these fears and things that hold us back, and so that we procrastinate and not actually prioritize them. So I think that, sometimes I'm quite aware that I need to focus on things, but then the fear overrides that, so then I don't do it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. And that can happen. And so what that's an example of is, it's where something is intellectually important, but we haven't embodied it because there's still limiting beliefs and there's still fears that are getting in the way. So yeah, that's an example of, I want it to be important, but I just don't know what's getting in the way of it being important. Yeah? Now that's an example where that's where there's unconscious resistance that's present. And same process. You can transform that to being more important by digging out the fear, uncovering the limiting beliefs, and uncovering the resistance. Yeah? So it's kind of like pulling out the weeds out of the garden so the garden can grow. But at the moment it's like, I want it to be important. Like, it kind of is important, but there's something getting in my way. Yeah. So that kind of explains that phenomenon. It comes back to fears and limiting beliefs. Again, no surprises. Yeah.